What you get in the 80s is Granada coming to this character and deciding to do something self-consciously canonical and definitive, and to, in a way, rescue Holmes from people who had jiggered with him in the past. Because this is the era of quality television, this is the era of Jewel in the Crown and Brideshead Revisited, and those immaculate, faithful, expensive literary adaptations that prove the seriousness of television. And this is what you get with the Granada Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I grew up in Manchester while it was being filmed. I can remember going down to the studio, and before it was open to the public, trying to peer through the railings at Baker Street. And they built this vast set there.
The new, and for many, permanent resident of 221B was Jeremy Brett.
Incidentally, I have glanced over your latest account of my work.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, I cannot congratulate you upon it. Detection is and ought to be an exact science. Observation, deduction, a cold, unemotional subject. You have attempted to tinge it with romanticism, which has much the same effect as if you'd worked a love story or an elopement into the fifth proposition of Euclid. Who can that?
The whole idea of the Granada series was to be as authentic as possible. They even go as far as reproducing the Paget illustrations. And yet Jeremy Brett's performance is a very particular choice. He said himself that he got the kind of manic energy of Sherlock, but he never really captured the idea of the man who would sit for 2 days while his tobacco ash tumbled down his waistcoat, you know. It's a really mannered and rather Victorian performance.
Jeremy's also this creature, this predator that's just lurking underneath this wonderful thing that can turn very owl-like, and then it's hawk-like, and you know, he's very physical and theatrical at times as well, but it's completely contained. It's something that is utterly his own.
In 41 episodes between 1984 and 1994, Jeremy Brett lived the part completely, and like Basil Rathbone, would forever be linked with him.
I think one of the reasons why Jeremy Brett's performance is so definitive is because he's the one who got to do them all. Only Eileen Norwood in the 1920s ever came close. And also because he became so enveloped in the role. He was inescapably Holmes.
He is a dark, recluse, internal creature. And you can only show him through cracks in the marble, glimmers. Yeah. You can't, he's totally internal. And I find that's very hard to sustain.
But as the series wore on, the cracks in the marble became all too apparent.
At the beginning of the series, Jeremy Brett is lithe and athletic, and he's jumping around all the time.
Sorry, Holmes.
No! You couldn't have come at a better time!
But as they go on, he becomes more lethargic, he looks less well. Everything about them seems to be bearing down upon him.
And of course it chimed very strongly with his own personality. And I felt, watching him, that you were watching somebody who was working out their own demons in public through playing the part. Jeremy
Brett made his last bow as Sherlock Holmes in 1994. He died the following year. He was 61 years old. Brett's legacy was to be for many the complete Sherlock Holmes. Yet, if the screen history tells us anything, it is that Sherlock Holmes is not a fixed point in a changing age, but a protean figure, taking on whatever form his adapters and players want. From Paget's initial branding of his look, to the embellishments on the stage, and the transformations on the screen.